Good morning and welcome to Moopsy in the Morning for November the 10th, 2023. I am the mom, and with me is the wonderful Chris, who's on a day before bank holiday. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Definitely yay. We don't get a lot of holidays like you do in Europe, bank holidays, things like that. They have bank holidays, but if you don't work at a bank, well, tough. Bank people get them. Post office gets them. The rest of us work. And tomorrow is a holiday that's always celebrated on November the 11th, which is Veterans Day. Doesn't matter if it's on a Tuesday, a Saturday, a Wednesday, it's always celebrated on the 11th, as far as I know. Unless they change that, but my banks are closed tomorrow. Everything's closed tomorrow.
Well, banks are closed on weekends always,
Ooh.
but stores open on Saturdays normally. But everything's going to be shut off tomorrow anyway.
Banks are typically open Saturdays from like 9 till noon for going in and doing stuff, but these days, 99% goes through online or the teller, or the banks, automatic teller.
Like physical banks, yeah, but no transfers are going to work, no nothing. You can put in money into your account and that's about it. You can order a transfer, but nothing else. The money is not going to be accredited to any accounts anyway.
Oh, that's interesting.
Interbank movements on weekends anyway.
Typically, that doesn't happen.
But we also don't use banks physically too often. Everything is electronic here.
Yeah, who uses a bank? Typically, Good morning, Ivory. Happy Veterans Day to all your fellow veterans. This will be my first year without my own personal veteran around. So, I'm going to do some stuff tomorrow with my son because they're a European country. They have tomorrow off. But he didn't know they had tomorrow off until yesterday. So he had promised some customers he'd do some stuff for them. So he has to work briefly, and then we're going to go off and do some things together. Celebrate his dad for him.
Well, I'm seeing my mom tomorrow too.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, that's so nice.
The get-together family thing. No, it's not. It's just that my mom invites me over every few weeks.
That's nice. Catch up. I went up to the cemetery where my mom is buried to introduce her to my 2 new dogs, relatively new dogs, because I realized I hadn't been up there with the dogs in, well, she hadn't met these, so at least in 4 years. I try to go up once a year and make sure that, everything's nice and clean, and if there's flowers that they're replaced and things like that. Usually the people who care for it's a very small cemetery. Usually they have a couple of people who come in and volunteer to make sure if you've put fresh flowers in, that the fresh flowers have been taken out when they wilt. And then if you put in a vase with water, they dump that out because otherwise you get mosquitoes.
Right.
So it's very nice. I'm one of the weird people who doesn't get creeped out by going to a cemetery. But Ivory, getting back to Veterans Day for just a second, we have a lot of veterans here. Frost is one. We have quite a few others. And I do not like war, but I appreciate the sacrifices everybody has made, because you don't come out of that unscathed.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah.
So the people I train with for martial arts, we have a naval officer who is on reserve, so he goes in like every other weekend, and then 2 weeks twice a year. But for being in the Navy, the last time he went on the longer tour for just staying up to speed on everything was the first time he was actually on a ship, because he's a computer guy and they generally don't send him out on the ships. They stick him in an office. But it's always fun when he's getting ready for his annual physical. He's like, no pizza tonight. No, can't go out for Mexican after class. No, can't do that. No, I can't do that. Okay.
Aww.
Drunken Heretic says, also, happy birthday, Marine Corps. Enjoy your crayons. Yes, I've worked with Marines. I get that one. Well, depending on how you want to define unscathed too, Ivory, my husband came out with a few quirks and cancer. So, hey, yeah. We're still dealing
from the war?
Yeah. Yeah, they have decided that veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange are far more likely to develop non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which he had twice, and that if you pass away from prostate cancer and you were in Vietnam, it is a military-related death.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. So in theory, I may be eligible for benefits as a survivor. We will find out. They're still going, maybe. What do you mean, maybe? But props.
I had a friend at work whose husband was, because, Poland is in NATO, so obviously we took part in some peacekeeping missions, like Afghanistan, Iraq, and he was voluntarily going for both of those. But he was stationed in a peaceful location, so he never got any. I mean, I don't know. He's probably not allowed to talk about half of the stuff that happened there anyway. So probably when he seems fine, but he might just have a good coping mechanism for this. But I can't believe that he hasn't ever been exposed to anything. Just stuff that's been going on there like years ago, obviously, because there's nothing going on. I don't think there's any military operations there anymore. Under NATO?
Not under NATO, as far as I know. Drunken Heretic says, dealing with the VA, the Veterans Administration, is a nightmare. This is an understatement. To deal with what I'm trying to go through right now, the VFW is running the front for me. So I just have to provide the guy at the VFW with all the data, and he's dealing with the VA. But it could be more than a year before they decide whether or not they're going to give me survivor's benefits. And if they don't, then I have to go back and protest the whole thing. So this could drag out for years, even though the VFW is Veterans of Foreign Wars, who are, I don't think they're volunteers. Maybe they are volunteers, but they do a lot of local stuff in the community to help veterans. And then they also have a fairly strong social community. My martial arts instructor, 2 of them came out of the military. One's Navy and current, and the other one's Army. So, of course, they always niggle each other with that. But my direct instructor was in the Navy in, I want to say, Iraq. And his son had his parent-teacher meetings. So he coordinated his schedule so he would be up at the right time to be able to basically do a Zoom call into the meetings and participate. Which turned out to be not the right thing to do, because all the other parents, when they would give their excuses to the teacher, I had errands to run, and she goes, Mr. So-and-so was able to come in from Iraq. I don't want to hear it.
The other parents were not happy to hear
that. The other parents were not happy. And good morning, Wolfie, and good morning, Mr. Dave. So, he set a different standard. I love my instructor and his wife, and I love his son and all his kids. They're all lovely people. Alrighty. I just happen to have 2 Borg TFOs this morning.
Oh, good. I need Borg ships, by the way.
This works perfectly. This works
30
perfectly.
To kill, which is quite a lot.
Well, so I have to do 2 Borg TFOs, so we're good. This will work out just fine.
Good. I need to do disruptor damage in space again. Let me swap ships then.
Yeah, go get yourself a ship. Anybody who'd like to join us for some Borg TFOs, give me a buzz here.
Come on with these stupid unsafe changes on those bloody ships.
That's okay, Wolfie, we can wait. Drunken Heretic says, disabled American veterans are also a big help and an option. That's thought. I hadn't reached out to them. My husband wasn't disabled until like the last month. At that point, he needed to go into hospital and then into hospice. But I do know more than a few people who were injured or affected in such a way that they are technically disabled now. My husband was drafted. He didn't have an option. Everybody else I know who went into the military, almost everybody else that I know who went into the military volunteered to go in. That's a level of sacrifice I don't know that I could do. Maybe I could. I actually wanted to be a military nurse.
Ooh.
Because I was studying nursing, and at that point, I was good enough age. They were willing to put me through school, and then I just have to make, I think, a 3 or a 5 year commitment.
Yeah, Wolfcat, they did fix a couple of things.
Did they? What'd they fix? I didn't read the notes.
There is a new tray. You can have more trays and ground. So now if you
Ooh.
ran out of space before, you
you can have 8 trays. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. You can have 8 trays. Woohoo!
And the veteran ship, the first one, Chimera, got a complete revamp.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, I think it's
And Thomas Marone actually posted, I just saw it on Twitter, that he also did the Manticore, which is the tier 6 version of the Chimera, so the skin will get a full revamp on both versions.
So the guy who originally did the Chimera was a player?
Yeah, they actually hired him to actually redo the ship.
Yeah.
That was great because he said that he was able to fix a few things he wanted initially addressed, but they weren't able to for reasons. So that's really great that Thomas is actually looking after these designers because it was pitched in as the idea for the new Enterprise.
Yes.
Back in the day before they did the Odyssey.
Yes.
And whilst it didn't win, the designers wanted that in the game anyway, so they introduced the veteran ship. Now, this is the first time I actually want to have my lifetime sub and I can't afford it. And it's on 50% sale and I still can't afford it because I had a lot of vet bills, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in the process of making a decision if I can live on a lot less money than I currently make and still afford a house. And because taking yesterday off as a sick day, it was like, oh my God, a day off without work. Yeah, I just need some mental health. But it reminded me that it's kind of nice to not work full time.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready, by the way, if you want to invite.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, now on the Chimera is live. Manticore is going to be live probably next week or something like that. And I really hate that Thomas and Ambassador Kale are teasing the anniversary ship that badly. Jesus, stop talking about it. If you can't show a glimpse,
we don't see it till
hear about it.
February, so shut.
I know. Shut your faces. You still have the event ship for the Christmas or whatever. So shut your pile. I don't want to hear about it.
Shut up. Can you give me 1 second before we start up here? And we'll wait for Wolfie to finish patching up.
I'm fine.
Just give me 1 sec.
I haven't noticed, but I'm actually sitting next to what's it called?
Sorry about that. It's chilly in the house this morning, so I wanted to grab a robe.
Makes sense. I'm just sitting next to a ship from the start of Resurgence, that video game that they published not so long ago. Great game, by the way.
We were going to pick it up and play it along with Infinite, and I was at that point of I'm ready to do it, and work just went nuts again.
You're gonna like it. It's really just so well researched. It's so well vested in Trek universe, and it's happening right after TNG.
Oh, sweet!
So it's not too far in the future or near SDO. It's really closer to Lower Decks. But even before Lower Decks, and the ship, the titular ship that's there. Actually, I just noticed that it resembles the Walker class.
Okay.
And I've never seen that resemblance until someone just stood next to my Walker class, and I'm like, oh my God, they look very much alike. I mean, it looks like the design was obviously streamlined for visuals of the Centaur, but the shape of the nacelles and the direction of the pylons and the saucer and the underside belly of the hull, that just looks like a more sleeker future version in TMP/TNG era.
Well, maybe I will load that up. Excuse me. Ophi! I'll be right back. Ophelia.
Mama's gonna explain stuff to the doggos.
Anybody want some dogs?
Thinking about bringing a dog from the UK. Why? No, I just...
Can they have chili and cheese and extra onions?
Yes, they can. But you have to... Dogs with onions, you get dog farts.
I think it's a good combination.
Yep,
Nah.
yep.
I've just heard what the UK is doing to a certain
Hey,
breed
Wolfie,
of dogs.
I hope you're okay.
And I just...
Yeah, there's no way I would ever go to the UK because of their attitude towards pit bulls. Actually, towards more and more breeds. Ophelia.
I mean, they've just introduced a ban on American XL bulls.
Yeah. Well, actually, they've had a ban on pit bulls for a long time.
Yeah, but this specific ban is like every homeless dog is going to be euthanized by the end of the year if it's not adopted, and they're encouraging people to euthanize their dogs, paying them £200.
No.
What is wrong with the British government? I don't know.
Can we euthanize their lawmakers?
British government?
Yeah, really.
please.
Really?
Like, I had a dog for I have a dog for 6 years now, over, and I've seen tons of dogs, different breeds, different owners, different behaviors, and honestly, every time I saw a pit bull or anything resembling the American XL bull, they're not so popular in Poland, but pit bulls are still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen them like, growling, trying to bite. They're playful, they're loving, they're so caring. I've heard people that
can be, yeah, absolutely.
have them around babies and everything, and I'm like, no one is talking about banning a specific breed of dogs, like, completely, to a point, like, breeding is forbidden, bringing them in is forbidden, you can't let them off the leash. Jesus, that's just so...
Yeah.
So bad on so many levels, I can't cope with that.
I will tell you that Fifi can be very aggressive, so anytime we are not in the house, she's on a lead, unless we're in a area where I know she's the only dog. But, it's a problem with getting an adopted dog. I don't know what happened to her for the first 18 months.
That's the thing. That was the same thing for a lot of dogs I know, and my friend is working as a foster home for dogs right now, so she has a lot of dogs that have been through trauma, or have been dumped, or have been just let go in the wild, and they just couldn't cope and they were captured at some point.
Yeah.
So I know that it comes down to obviously their past, and you have to know your dog, but it's your responsibility, not government's responsibility, to tell you that. The government should put more responsibility on the owners. And there should be some back checks for some people. Like, some people should not be around dogs.
Well, on the harder part of this, my coworker's wife was attacked by a couple of pit bulls in the park, their public park, and her dog was killed, and she was pretty chewed up. And the owners of the other two pit bulls just jumped in their car and left.
Yeah, well,
didn't even try to help her.
That's the type of people that,
Yeah.
shouldn't be close.
Well, that was my cue to, you know what? How much does it cost for me to get my dog trained? Couple thousand? I'm getting my dog trained. Just so I can take her out in public and feel more confident that if she were to slip the lead, even though I will keep her on her leash, I will not take her off. Just to feel more confident that she couldn't do anything bad, or she wouldn't do anything bad. It's good for her, it's good for me, and it's good for the breed and the reputation. But yeah, pit bulls can be absolute cuddle bunnies.
Yeah.
Most dogs can be.
Every dog can be aggressive, let's be honest. I've seen a shit ton of dogs in type of, like, Yorkshire Terriers that were completely without any sort of... Because the mentality of people who own them is it's just like a cuddle dog. It's like a pursed bunny. It's like you can keep it in your purse. No, that dog was bred to hunt for rats and then to hunt for small mammals. and they were meant to be vicious. They were meant to be on task. Now that they don't have any tasks, they're like a cuddle doggy that sits on the couch all day. Their mentality is restless, and they will just climb on your head. They will literally jump on you if you don't like discipline them. And people are like, how can I discipline something small and adorable? Like, excuse me? That can be adorable. I mean, I don't see them as adorable, but you can consider them adorable, but yet you still need to provide them some discipline. Like, every dog can literally jump all over you if you let them.
My dogs.
I had a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had a Chow Golden Retriever mix.
Oh my God.
And most lovable ham tongue in the world. But he was scared of Mama Cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Fifi's little sister is Loki the Papillon, who is not my dog, but I have her for the next, 4 years. 3 to 4 years. And she is much more aggressive than my big one is, and she doesn't like new people. It can take her months to get used to somebody. Fifi, if you come in the house and you ignore her, she will be in love with you in about 30 minutes. Yeah.
Those fluffy ear things, aren't they?
Yes, they are the fluffy ear things. But
so common here.
I had my martial arts friends come over to help me move stuff and tear down things in the old house before I moved out. And they came over and basically they ignored the dogs. Just didn't even knock on the door. They came in the front door and out the back, and the dogs were going, roar, and they're just ignoring them, and the dogs are like, I love you. I'll come over and cuddle you. Yeah. All right, we've got Chris and Wolfie and me, and we're doing some Borg TFO. Anybody else in?
I can join you.
Cool. Let me grab you here.
And I got a ship with disruptors, so I'm ready to deal a lot of disruptor damage.
There you are, Yuri. I'm looking down the list going, where's Id? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Yuri. All right. We have to do a couple of these, so do megas will make my life easier. You have 30 to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's the best for that. There you go. Weewoo?
Weewoo? Sure thing, yep.
Everybody got a weewoo? There we go.
Yep. You're on Nimbus state.
Yeah, I still have 120 arthropods.
I'm actually surprised I haven't had anything on Nimbus for at least a week and a half. I'm concerned.
Both accounts had salvage today. It's like, yeah, no problem. Give me 2 seconds here. Done.
Yeah. Just one button and you're done.
Well, if I had hit the one button thing, I would have given them like 20,000 in salvage, and I only needed 500, so I just went through and picked out 3 things.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. I'll turn the rest in at the exchange and get some money out of it.
God, I'm so pissed that they did the 50% off with lifetime now.
They'll do it again at Christmas. They always do it at Christmas.
I won't afford it at Christmas. I have Christmas shopping.
I have no Christmas shopping this year.
Unfortunately, I have, because I want to have something. I get something for my mom, and I
That's
get
nice.
something for my boyfriend. So I'm.
Aww.
Pardon my French. I mean, I have an idea for a thing for my boyfriend, so I'm not gonna use a lot of money for that. But still, Christmas food and stuff you need to buy for Christmas season. I don't know. I wish Christmas wasn't an obligatory thing.
Well, this year everybody's getting a piece of paper with some numbers on it.
Oh. Yeah, that's what my mom usually goes right. She doesn't know what to buy to me, so.
I will go right. Stop shooting at them. Trying to leave ships there for Chris. Well, my husband used to give everybody in the family a check. The kids, that is. And my brother-in-law would get a bottle of bourbon. But most of what we did was just have a nice dinner. And this year, my son's going to buy the standing rib roast for dinner. And I will cook it at his house. And then I'll give them pieces of paper with numbers on it.
pieces of paper with numbers on.
Mm-hmm.
My wicked imagination is like torn pieces of paper with some random numbers on it.
I have a coworker who's getting married. I wanted to give him a nice gift because I know he makes less than I do, even though I think he's very, very talented. But he's very young and he hasn't got as much experience. So I thought how much is it going to take for me to give him a very nice present because the wedding is in more than a year. So I did the calculations. Hey, well, if you only put aside $30 a week for the next however many months it is, that will be a very nice wedding present.
Sounds like a very good idea. Nice gesture.
Yes,
It's down already.
this transformer's almost done. I'm trying to just do one thing so Chris can shoot all the probes and everything in the middle.
I'm 21 out of 30, so...
Okay, well, we'll have those 2 bunches of probes that come up.
Yeah, you'd have to tell that to the scimitar.
Well, it'll launch one for sure. Ooh, we got Jenny here, who is clearly knowing what he or she is doing.
Oh, done.
Got it?
Yep.
Cool.
Just now. And I have to say, I absolutely adore Discovery Klingon disruptors.
Yes, yes.
I love their sound. I know they screwed them up because visually when the Discovery beams appeared in the game, they were 1-to-1 on point as on the series, and then they ruined them sometime later because they're too slow, they're too fat. You're not supposed to be able to trace them with your naked eye, see particular bolts to land. You're not supposed to see them. They're supposed to be like something just punching through the space between the ship and the target, and it's not supposed to do it. But I don't know why they changed their visuals. They screwed them up anyway. But the sound of these disruptors is, I love it. I just love it. It's not so high pitched as everything else.
It's actually why I like the Zatvash cannons. I love the visual and I love the sound.
Jetvash cannons. I only have the beams. I don't know how the Jetvash cannons sound.
It's more rapid fire sounding than it is with the other types. It's a distinct sound. I don't know how it cues up with the series, if they even used them in the series.
No, they didn't fire a single thing on the series.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any Jetvash weapons fired.
So I'm glad they created these. They sound great. I have them on... I can't remember who's got them.
I mean, I have the beams and they look really cool. I'm more of a beam kind of...
Well, I usually do beams, but this one I did cannons, and I can't remember which tunes got them, but they are fun. I need to upgrade it.
There are 2 ships I have cannons on because they kind of make more sense for the ship. I have them on the Quesion ship. I don't know what's the class of this ship. It's weird. It's not an escort. I don't remember. But the Quesion from season 3 and 4 of Discovery. It's a very small escorty ship that has morphing abilities. It's smaller than any ship you see in the game. It's really tiny. It has pilot abilities, and I'm using the era appropriate.
That's Booker's ship, right?
Yeah, that's the Booker ship. Yeah, I
Okay.
love it. It's really great.
I'm going to queue us up. Wolfie has some more plasma damage to do. Wolfie, I presume you've got decent plasma equipment on there?
Let me just swap ship again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me know when
It's
you're
not
ready.
gonna take long. I have everything up
Nice.
already, so it's just jump and check on the if the loadout is fine.
So I have bad news and I have good news. The bad news is I drank the last of the coffee this morning. The good news is, in theory, my
You won
coffee...
the lottery?
No, that the new batch will be delivered today. I did not try the lottery. I'm saving up till there's enough money. I figure if it gets to about 700 million, I'll probably go a little bit higher. If I can get to 800 million, that should be enough to buy Cryptic. Because, well, okay, 800 million means you actually walk out the door with 350 million if you take it in cash.
Right.
All in one payment, obviously not cash.
I'm ready, by the way.
Okay.
Told you. It's all good.
So that would be enough, and I've been chit-chatting with people about, okay, who's going to do what, because obviously we don't want to get rid of people who are there. We will. But
Yeah,
there's
we'll
a few
definitely
things
keep
I
on it.
want to tweak, like customer service and quality and things like that. And if we
I
can
can do customer service. Take me. I can work seven days a week. I don't care. If I work as what I love, I can work all day.
Well, clearly we need somebody to handle European customer service, American customer service. So I'm plotting this all out, even though probably somebody is in the process of figuring out how to buy it. But what the heck, if I win the lottery first, I get first dibs. Wolfie's doing a fan dance over there. He's going to get some tea Earl Grey first.
Tea Earl Grey hot.
Yes.
Coffee black. Ractigino. Those are 3 most commonly drank drinks, beverages in Star Trek. I think. I don't think there was anything common in TOS. Discovery barely ever mentions food at all. There is only tea.
TOS doesn't mention food to speak of.
No, there's nothing. I don't think I've seen them drink or eat anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They did.
Kirk's got his it looks like a styrofoam cup that he carries around in some, or drinks from in some episodes.
What's that
Probably
one
didn't catch
with
that.
the with all the ambassadors around?
Journey to Babel.
Yeah,
Or Babel, excuse me. And let us not forget Tranya.
Ooh, Tranya.
Only fools dream of victory. When not.
We do have Tranya. But yeah, I think there was a reference to Turkey in one of the episodes, but I could be wrong about that. Good morning, Vider.
Next
How
Gen
are
definitely
you?
had some, replicated cold bird meat.
Yeah, they did have stuff. They
Chocolate,
Worf had prune
chocolate,
juice.
prune juice.
Quickly.
TOS had all those multicolored foam blocks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's why when we get to Wrath of Khan and all, we have the galley.
Yes, I was going to say that. I remember that from 6.
There was food on Undiscovered Country as well.
Mm-hmm,
They
yes.
were dining. But on the series, there wasn't any common thing. There isn't a single thing that you can always correlate with.
Yeah.
Of course, we have all the drinks
TOS.
that Guinan makes at the bar.
A lot of food was an Enterprise, actually.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just Captain's thingy tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Archer had people over.
And Strange New Worlds, there's quite a bit of cooking.
Yeah, Captain cooks, and he's. I really love that little gimmick that he has a full-blown kitchen in his quarters. That's
yeah.
a really cool thing. And I love how Anson plays that. I don't know if he's really into cooking, but he really sells it well. He feels very comfortable there. Like he's very natural.
There are 2 guys who cosplay in Vegas, and one is always playing as Pike, with the apron on and the barbecuing tools and things like that.
That's really cool.
They do a great job of that. Last time they came through, though, he was drinking something from a koozie, a styrofoam cover that goes around a can.
Oh.
And so I asked him what it was. It's wine in a can.
Oh yeah. Germany has wine in cans. They have wine in cardboard boxes, like orange juice. It's weird.
You can get mead in cans.
You can get everything in cans. I just hadn't seen wine in cans. And, of course, I did this. Did you bring enough for everybody? And he reaches into his backpack, pulls out one, hands it to me. Cold. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
I did. I'm like, oh, okay. You are my best friend now.
My first ever encounter of that unusual thing was when I was with my dad. My dad was a truck driver, so he was traveling through Western Europe. delivering stuff between all of the countries. And the one time I actually got with him because he had a very short course to Berlin. It's like right next to it, but I was never abroad. I was like 16, I think. And I remember that we just went to a typical market, a store, and they had, you expect, because in Poland you don't get cardboard wine. It's only reserved for juice and milk. So it was kind of weird, and accidentally we bought a cardboard box of wine, and we had no idea because it had grapes all over it on the pictures, and I don't read German. My dad he knew how to speak some words in German, but he was never good at reading and writing. So we had no idea it was an alcohol beverage. It was actually wine, a dry wine, by the way. It was quite gross. But when I opened it, I'm like, Dad, I think it's fermented or something, and he picks it up and is like, no, it's wine, and I'm like, oh, why do they have it in cardboard? And it was like kind of we bought it when we were so thirsty, we were hoping for some nice grape juice, and that was not it. I mean,
well, it is grape juice, yeah.
It was, but it wasn't the one we wanted, and it was kind of hilarious. And then I learned that Germany had all kinds of beverages, alcoholic beverages, in unusual packaging, like foil bags, plastic bottles. Like
foil bags are real common here. When we go to our Japanese market, they have coffee in a can. I'm thinking, cold coffee? Okay, that could be good. And they're like, no. You put it in this machine and it heats it up for you.
In the can?
In the can.
What?
And I'm like, well, won't it be too hot? And he's like, just buy it and try it. And the can doesn't get too hot. It's comfortably warm. The coffee is decent. My favorite one, though, is God. God coffee.
God coffee? Like
yes,
God?
Yes, G-O-D. God coffee. So we bought that, and it was extremely good coffee. And then we went back the next time, and they had the God coffee, and they had like caffeinated decaf with cream. A latte equivalent, and my favorite one was at the end where it was God, now with mocha! I'm like, mocha God, yes, we are good. It was tasty, but honestly, if I go there, they have a place that makes fresh matcha, and they have good food there, so... Yeah, I don't go there for a God in a can.
Very nice name. I recently saw a review on TikTok. Someone went to the Chinese food market and they found a full-blown noodle meal with meat, which was like beef, I think, and everything was dried up inside except for a bag of sauce. And you had to pour water into it, and you didn't even need to heat it. It had a heating pack inside.
No.
Yes. And it boils it up. You don't use a single thing except for water. I was mind blown.
Yeah.
And that was in the US, by the way, so it's totally something that you have over there. I've never seen this. And you literally just unwrap everything into there are two like bowls in that package. The outer bowl and their inner bowl in which you unload everything from all the dry packs. There are vegetables, there's dried meat, which smells like dog food, apparently. And you add herbs, you have some greasy fat in it, and there's some sauce, and you put it all in the inner bowl. You open up the heat pack, you fill that outer bowl with some base water, you fill the inner bowl with water up to the line, you close it off for 10 minutes, you come back and it's boiling. Yep.
Wow.
You see bubbles in the water, and it's steamy, and it's all hot, like to a point where they had to blow on it, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, it's basic MRE flameless ration heater. Ugh.
Yeah, it's what military uses in the field, and I'm like, what the hell? And Japanese people just put that like nothing into a fully wrapped up package of Thai or Japanese whatever noodles with beef and everything, and they said it was absolutely delicious, like in the restaurant.
Really?
Mind blown. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it was weird.
Where I'm at used to have the largest producer of MREs in America, but they closed down like I want to say 2012.
Okay.
But yeah, for the longest time, we were considered a valuable target if anybody was going to attack.
Really?
Wow.
Because of that factory?
Yep.
Nice. I mean, weird, but it's
That's really weird.
so bizarre.
Anybody have
mean-
any endeavors we need to be looking at while we're still all here?
I've got Terran ships. 10 of them.
Just Terran ships, not Terran ships in the battle zone?
No, not
I've
battle
got-
zone, just Terran
I've got
ships.
5 Terran ships in the battle zone, and what is that? 60 Tholians on ground.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I can help with Chris's Terran ships if you guys would like to do Jupiter Eratus.
Ooh. I
Sure.
haven't.
It doesn't
considered-
count for your battle zone ones, but it still would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Trying to remember if that's a patrol. I think that's a patrol.
TFO.
It's a TFO. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, that's because I'm there on that one. That's right. I do it as a solo TFO when I want to do it.
I wanted to work on a build this week after we were running something on Elite on
Mhm.
the patrol, and I forgot that I had my patrol set to Elite. I went for the DS system. I did not like that encounter. I did not enjoy it. The Klingons annihilated me quicker than I could say the name of my ship. I did not care for that. Then I had to rework the build.
I can't remember who we were playing with. I want to say it was Dread Knight. And he's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm like, what's going on? They're shooting me. They're killing me every time I come out of, get healed and come back out of warp. I'm like, okay, hang on a second. Joined him, came in. I said, you got the set to Elite, right? Oh!
Oopsie, that small realization.
Yeah. So a moment later, we finished it up pretty easily once he set it down to something a little bit more tolerable. It was a new ship and a new tune, nowhere ready for Elite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hurts.
Did you find your coffee, BTD? Excuse me, fighter. Speaking of coffee, a week from Monday, not this Monday coming up, so the 20th, I will not be here in the morning.
Oh dear.
I am going. I'm going to Chicago. Oh, we will. Yes, thank you. I'm going to Chicago for the day, and I'm trying to calculate. I need to be there at 2:00, but I need to get to the bank first, and I need to go buy coffee at the good coffee shop.
My boyfriend's flying to Chicago.
Oh, is he?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
Or Sunday, I
Oh.
think.
He's going to have some decent weather, so yay for him. But he's coming from Poland.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Then that means he has to go through customs at O'Hare, which sucks. It's
He
like,
always does because he's
Okay.
a pet courier and he flies.
that's
over the
right.
world.
Yeah, you've told me that.
Yeah. He always goes to that hell.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, he's used to it because he's been doing that for years, but
it is bad. Well, I'm sorry I'm not in
Yeah.
Chicago. I'd go meet him.
yeah, I mentioned that I know a streamer who's actually from the area who's often in Chicago for work and stuff. So it was
Yeah, I'll be there in a week.
damn.
You can
Well,
see
who
Mom
knows?
standing in the airport with one of those little signs.
And it's gonna be a sign Chris's boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, his name is also Chris.
Oh my gosh.
We have the same first name. Yep.
Do you spell it the same way?
Yep.
Wow.
Both Christopher. Oh, that's kind of bizarre. At some times.
Well, Christopher was a very popular name in the States about 20 years ago. Was that when it was? Maybe 30 years ago. And I would have classes at my school where I was teaching martial arts where I would have, Chris 1, and that's Chris 2, and Chris 3, and Chris 4.
Yeah, I've got that at work. There's we have two guys named Chris. There's one that has last name that starts exactly
Borky.
like Christopher. So it's kind of confusing because sometimes we get tagged.
So much for the Riscava. Hi, Board King.
Hello.
What Rascava? There's no Rascava here.
No,
Yeah,
it's gone
yes.
now.
I'm going to say Board King probably is having problems connecting today. Since I've heard somebody coming
Network?
on, off. It could be Twitch, could be his mic, could be a lot of things. The last
Well, Discord,
Microsoft patch screwed up my mics, which I need for a meeting today. Oh shoot, I had a meeting yesterday. I completely forgot about it.
Did you miss it?
Yes, I took a sick day yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess they figured it out because nobody called me to ask me what was going on.
Well, that's good that there was someone to figure out stuff.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
I
a
know
critical
you said
meeting.
you were thinking about taking a mom day.
I definitely needed a mom day.
Cool. Oh, I just got my 10 Terran ships.
Very good.
Nice.
Well, I figured you would with this one.
Yeah, it's hard not to get 10. The final phase gives you so many.
Yeah.
I like this TFO. I think it should get a advanced and elite version.
I'm sure it will.
I don't understand it that this one didn't, but Guillotine, that's been the shortest in the game, it already has advanced and elite. I don't understand their priorities.
I wonder if they weren't planning on keeping this one as an ongoing mission, just using it for events.
Well, now that they put it into the game,
They should
and
do it in
to be
advanced
honest,
and elite,
Guillotine
yeah.
also feels like it was supposed to be an event thing.
It probably was, but if you bear in mind that they haven't finished that arc up yet, so keeping it there...
True. But the Guillotine, no, Leviathan is also an event thing, and it's in the game now permanently, and it's still on normal. Which makes no sense. Leviathan, that would be a very challenging TFO. Even on normal, sometimes you can die.
I love Leviathan. I'm surprised it doesn't pop up
It's one of
more
my
often.
favorite. It doesn't almost completely. I have to queue for it specifically for it to pop up. And
It'll come up
that
on
usually takes away
randoms, but it won't come up on... if you have a full team, it won't come up. But if you go in with 4, usually probably somebody's selected it.
Wait, what do you mean? You can't queue it with a full team?
Oh, you can queue it anytime you want to, but if you have like 4 and you go for a random, it almost never pops up.
Doesn't pop up. Oh.
Yeah. Of course, the last time we queued for anything as a full team, we got Grabbed 8 Kills, and then we got Days of Doom.
Yeah, I remember this.
What did we do to you?
I like those TFOs, I'm sorry.
I know
can
you
see
do.
Why Days of Doom is jank, because it's inconsistent.
It's long and it's tedious, and I think it's the length of the same thing over and over. Because you pretty much can do 2 things, which is just defeat the bomb interceptors.
I would need 2 things happen in that TFO for it to be fixed. For one, make the Doomsday Machine untargetable. It doesn't make sense that you're able to target it, considering you know you can't destroy it.
Mm-hmm. But it then
just
becomes
makes
your
no
priority
sense.
when you're targeting.
And it also is prioritized as a target,
Yep.
so it's only a target that is available. No, it's whenever you try to change target, it will.
It doesn't want-
automatically
It does not want to let it go.
to that stupid Doomsday
With
Machine.
a
For whatever reason, that's just rigged in that TFO because it doesn't happen like that anywhere else. And the second thing, the dropout of the bombs need to be consistent.
Yes.
I can't count how many times I drop it and it just vanishes.
Yep.
Or I pick it up and it vanishes from my
Or,
ship.
or you can't pick it
2
up.
meters. Yeah, you can't pick it up because you're moving or whatever. The game is very fussy in that TFO.
Oh, we're in this
It
part
doesn't know
already.
what to do with it. Oh, there we go, final phase.
Didn't even realize we got here.
You know, with a slight reskin, this could be the Daystrom in Station Assault.
Ooh.
Wait, what station? What? Wait, what? Where?
The Daystrom Station Assault from Picard Season 3.
That could be fun.
What about it? Is it coming into the game?
No, he was saying this TFO could be a good setup for that. With the reskin.
Oh yeah.
Remember with Draenor Assault, there's another one that's a reskin of that
Pavo.
Pavo, yeah. Same thing, just different skins. I don't like either
They
one
do
of
this a
them.
lot. Like Resistance of Starbase 1 is it's
Mhm.
such a bad reskin because at least for Pavo, they actually took the effort of changing the planet lookout, the stations. They look kind of different. There is a different introduction from a different actor, and there were different descriptions of that.
Welcome back, Board King.
Feels like
Welcome back, my
they
dear.
tried some effort to reskin it. Resistance of Starbase 1 is so cheap, but it carries on even the bugs from SB1.
Yes, it does.
Really
Well, there are a couple of differences. I've noticed that the ships, when they're launching, get destroyed much more easily in the Borg version than they do in the non-Borg version.
That's true, and they can be assimilated in the assimilator phase. If you don't defend them, the assimilators will actually overcome them and they will be assimilated. Which is a difference. But they are even named the same way as they are in SB1.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother to give them the different names. Like, what the hell?
Let's see.
Plus, the warp in animation is wrong for Borg. And the narrator says that they're using transdimensional portals to enter different places in space. And you see them just warp in. They don't even bother to create them portals. Like Terrans or anything.
Yeah, I there's a part of me that's going, how much were they going? Maybe we're not going to have a job next week. Let's just get this done and not care too much.
Right. They didn't really care much. We can go to Badlands and help him get the...
Okay. I'm happy to do that. Give me 1 second here.
Transport to Deferra.
I think it was Spencer was saying that, that those projects they said that they were working on in secret were total bogus and were just holding patterns for the layoffs.
Yeah.
Like, if we let you work on this project any longer, you could hold us, hostage on it. So we're going to put you on this non-existent program.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers that I win the lottery and this all gets resolved quick. This actors' strike is over?
Right.
The writers' strike is over?
Right. Yep.
So now we just have to get Star Trek Online fixed.
Actors are starting to start giving interviews. They're popping up in podcasts. The producers and companies are starting to advertise their stuff. So
I think Ed and I were discussing Sony announcing the Zelda game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zelda movie, yeah.
I still don't get it, but whatever. I mean, I get why they went to Sony, because Sony had a very successful screenings of some of their stuff. Like, their Last of Us was a success. They had a success with Uncharted.
Yep.
Film. I love the Uncharted film. Like, you don't even have to know the games to enjoy it.
Yeah,
thoroughly. It's a very good adventure.
I'm not a huge Zelda fan. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, that's okay. Ed, we're over in the Badlands if you want to join us to kill your Terrans.
Yes.
Wolfie, if you'd like to join us in the Badlands, we're killing Terrans over here. And I'll play for a little bit, and then I'm going to... I have to work from home today, but courtesy of being sick yesterday, I have some things in the office I have to run in and do before things go on here, which will include going to the coffee shop and getting a coffee.
Yep.
I join you. Get a bagel and schmear.
They don't have bagels.
What?
How
are they a coffee shop?
They are a coffee shop, and they make all homemade things. They make their own cakes and quiche and oatmeal. They are yummy. Okay. But they don't do bagels.
Well, they kind of could do bagels, but I get that they have other stuff.
Yeah. And on Sunday this week, they have a baker who's going to come in, and he does pastries. Is the best description. He does savory pastries and sweet pastries, and they're very expensive. But I
love savory pastries.
Oh, they are so good. And he does a different menu every time. He comes in maybe every 2 months. And I bought one of everything he had on Halloween, thinking, oh, how much can they be? Like $5 each? No, $10 each. They were delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Okay, that's all my ships on that one.
Nice.
Well, I only have about 5 minutes left here, so shall we just do some destruction here and have some fun?
Dang.
Maybe make a little dilithium. I may be on tonight since I decided to just kind of veg out yesterday. I did something original yesterday that I haven't done in a long time.
What?
I turned off my phone and read a book.
I
know. Heresy.
No, it's not.
It was
great.
great.
I was meaning to do it for quite a while. I have a pile of books I bought only this year that I like. When I was in my therapy for my hearing thing, I caught up with a lot of books. But ever since I came back to work and started coming back to normal, I just don't have the time for it anymore. I remember I was looking forward to the oxygen therapy in the hyperbaric chamber because I had 90 minutes of reading time. Because there's nothing you can do. You're sitting with a bunch of strangers in a can that looks like a very old interior of a plane. I mean, it doesn't look old. It's just it feels like they've used an old plane and adapted it to a hyperbaric chamber because they are hermetically sealed, so that you can be pressurized and repressurized over and over. And I was just looking forward to it because it was on a daily basis. I've had like every 5 days a week.
Wow.
Sometimes a Saturday. So I could just, 90 minutes of being me, myself, and my book, and that was really good. I didn't care about the people. I just immersed myself in these books, and I kind of missed the therapy.
I used to read voraciously and stopped doing it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can't think of any reason.
I just did.
Maybe gaming.
Well, setting aside time to just sit there and read a book and be focused on something. With game, I think we have that visual, auditory, speaking.
Stimulate.
Yeah, and just doing a book. So the pups had a nice long walk, and then I sat in on the couch, got one dog on either side of me, so it was nice and warm. And they snoozed and I read.
The thing for me with reading is that I can't read in the afternoon or after work because I'm so exhausted, so tired, that if I sit, I don't know, on the couch, in a chair, whatever, I will fall asleep 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Because it's not giving me any other stimuli that my brain has to work and processing the letters into the story. And I'm, working in a kind of office setting with a very exhausting topic. I really don't grasp even properly 2 years in. I'm just too tired. I just can't focus on reading, and that's one of the reasons I just don't do that too much, because I want to, but if I try to do it, I will fall asleep. And I feel that's kind of insulting to the book to fall asleep on it.
Well, the nice thing about the book is, one, it doesn't care, and two, you can pick it up later.
True, but I feel guilty for myself.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I actually love the novelization of the Alien film. That was a book written based off the original script, which was released kind of recently, I think 2019. I love it because it expands upon ideas from the original script that weren't picked up on the film because they had to cut it, or they just didn't want to do it, whatever reason. So it kind of gives a broader perspective onto some of the elements.
Oh yeah.
On the characters.
I feel the same way.
There
was a novelization of Pacific Rim which does the same thing. It goes much further into the underlying reasons that a lot of things happen, and I love the movie, but when you read the book it's just so much better. But that said, I need to run into the office briefly to pick up the stuff I should have been doing yesterday so I can get back here and wait for them to come out here to fix whatever the heck they have to fix today. It's annual maintenance on the townhouse. And they said, well, yeah, but if you have dogs, as long as they're secure, like in a bedroom, I'm like, they're just going to eat the door. That's not going to stop them. So I will come back here and we will work from the house today. But like I said, I need to run out and get my stuff done for them. So I'm going to log out of here, everybody. On behalf of everybody who is here today, thank you so much for joining us. Might be on tonight. Might not be on tonight. Mr. Dave, don't worry about not getting addicted to coffee. I have your addiction for you, I promise. Have a great day, everybody, and on the count of 3, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Stay awesome.